Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Um, you're welcome to this webinar and training session. First of all, my name is Billy Effick. I will be showing us how to install and configure Linux on a VMware environment, and then we will configure the server for Oracle installation. The version of Oracle we will be installing today is Oracle 11G Release 2. Again, my name is Billy Effick. I've been working with Oracle products for over 20 years. I hold an OCP in Oracle 10G and 11G. Also, I am an Oracle certified expert when it comes to real application cluster and real infrastructure. We are going to follow this guide. Specifically, this video will cover what we call LAB02A and LAB02B. In LAB2A, the sysadmin gives to you a Linux server, and you are supposed to install Oracle. In LAB2B, there is no sysadmin. Although in real life, there will always be a sysadmin. So here in this lab, what we are attempting to do here is we are going to install, configure Oracle Enterprise Linux on a new virtual machine and create operating system user and then groups and directories that we will be installing Oracle on. We will set the kernel parameter, ensure that we have the enabling environment to install Oracle. We will ensure that we have the appropriate packages. In doing this, we will learn how to tweak the firewall of the Unix system. We will learn SSH, FTP, secure FTP. We will also learn secure copy down the road. We will set up TLS information, configure the listener using NetCA and NetManager, and then using DBCA install the database. We will connect to the database using SQL Plus as well as Oracle SQL Developer as well as Toad. All right. Again, our company, PishonTech, Inc., we are a consulting firm. We do managed services. We have a lot of clients that we manage their Oracle database and SQL Server database. Although we do training as part of our business approach, this is professional training. This is not some training that you read some book. This is a hands-on, intense. We are fully authorized to do this by Oracle Corporation. We take you from you have never heard of it, you have never seen it, to very advanced level in a very short time. Our training covers the normal track of a DBA training, introduction to SQL, administration 1, that's workshop 1, and then workshop 2. However, we go beyond the regular curriculum and cover Unix, installation of Unix from scratch and configuring Unix, and we teach a lot of Unix commands. What really differentiates our training from every other company is the advanced projects that we have. In the first project, we will give you a Windows 2008 server, and you will install Oracle on Windows. And then we will give you a Windows installation disk to install Windows from scratch. Now, normally a database administrator will not do this. There will always be a sysadmin, but we are trying to kind of show you all the components of the operating system as it regards to database. So we make you install the operating system from ground up and then put Oracle on Windows. And we do the same on the Unix platform, specifically Oracle Enterprise Unix, Linux, which is the same with Red Hat. We have labs like, creating table spaces, roles, users, and privileges, hot and cold backups, switching to archive log mode. We have using data pump, SQL loader to move data from flat file, text file, from one database to the other. We have RMAN recovery, recovery from loss of control file, loss of data file. We actually make you delete your control file and your data file and attempt to make you recover. We also have a lab that covers the cloning of the database. You will clone the database home, clone the actual database running on a cloud server in California to your server and configure all the network components. We also have a lab on ASM. You will install Oracle on an ASM platform. As a matter of fact, we make you install Unix from scratch and configure multiple disks and provision the disk with ASM lib and all the ASM packages in a Linux environment. And then we will go into migrating database from simple file system to an ASM file system. We also have a lab that covers the installation and configuration of Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control 12C. Before you finish your training with us, we would have also made you install and configure Oracle 11G Active Data Guard, setting up a disaster recovery infrastructure, including Data Guard Broker. In one of the labs, we make you use the broker in conjunction with grid control. We have a special class that covers real application cluster, configuring and setting up rack, a 2-node rack, and adding a 3rd node rack to it. We have multiple videos that cover some of these things. We have elaborate labs for the students to follow. All right, let's go and continue our lab. We want to cover all the lab tools, which involves installing Linux from scratch. Now we are going to use a VMWARE environment. Okay, let me power VMWARE on. You can use any other product that is available, but we use VMWARE Workstation 10. We are going to create a machine. Let me go right away and create a typical machine. I don't want to install the OS right away. I'm just going to configure a machine. This is the same as going to Best Buy and buying a computer. If we look at the lab, it says that our machine should, the name of our machine should be My Unix Server 1. It should have 30 gig hard drive and at least 1.5 gig memory. Now, if you have more memory, be generous, give it more memory. But this is kind of like bare bone basic. Make sure that the network is network address translation for the machine that you are setting up. Again, I repeat, if you have more memory, ensure that you give a little more memory. So this is going to be a Linux machine. I can select Red Hat Enterprise Linux 5, which is the same with Oracle Enterprise Linux 5. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll select the 64-bit Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And I want to give this machine a name. And our lab says that this machine should be called My Unix Server. It will help if you just copy and paste Copy and paste is always good. You do less mistakes that way. And there we go. My Unix server. This is equivalent to going to buy a Toshiba or HP computer in Best Buy or Micro Center or Walmart. Where will this machine be? We have to select a folder that this machine will be installed on. This machine has to be installed on some folder. Okay, let me look for where I have good space. I need just 30 gig of space. Okay, I put it on my Y drive. And look at the way I ensure that all my virtual machines are in one folder called virtual machine. And to do that, so that your files are not scattered here and there, I will drop this folder right there, my Unix server 1. Click on next. I want to split the files. The hard drive is going to be about 30 gig of hard drive. There we go. And then this machine is finished and ready. So now my Unix server 1 is ready. But remember, the memory was supposed to be 1.5 gig. 1.5 gig is 1536. Again, if you have a lot of memory, don't just hold back. If you have a machine with 8 gig, you can do this with 4 gig of memory comfortably. So even though the lab says to use 1.5, I'm going to use 4096, which is 4 gig, because this machine has got 32 gig of hard drive of memory on this machine. All right. Now, so I got 4 gig. In your case, you can do 1.5 gig comfortably. That will be 1536. Now, the network is NAT, network address translation. If I power on this machine right now, I'm going to have an error. The error will simply say that there is no operating system disk to proceed. So I need to put a disk in the disk drive of this computer that I just bought from Best Buy. To put the disk, we just click on the CD disk, and we are going to use an ISO image and not a physical disk. If you have a physical disk, you can use that. Let me go to where my ISO image is. There's my Linux ISO. I want 64-bit Linux, and there we go. So now this machine is ready, and all I need to do is power it on, and the installation will begin. Say OK here. If you have this Oracle Linux, Oracle Enterprise Linux, you are on the right track. If it says it cannot proceed, it can't find the CD, then maybe your ISO is corrupt, or you didn't even insert the CD in the disk drive. All right, press enter anytime you are ready, and the installation will start. So we've started our installation. Now this lab, okay, by the way, let me just get past this point so that you see what I will do here. There will be an attempt to scan the disk and ensure that there are no defective sectors on your disk. But we are using an ISO, so we are going to skip this. I'm just going to use my keyboard arrow and just skip the scanning of the disk. I just skip the scanning of the disk, and we are going straight to installing Linux on. I can buy a lot of space by pressing Alt, Control, Enter. So that gives us a clear view of our installation. Next, English, please. Next. US English. You can select whatever language is comfortable with you. Swiss, French, German, Swiss, German, US International, Ukrainian, United Kingdom, Spanish, Slovenia. We're just going to do US English. Now, don't be afraid. This will not affect your Windows machine. This is going to format the 30 gig hard drive that we gave it. It's going to format it to the Unix format. Here, we can go ahead and create partitions and manage the partition, but we're going to leave it as default. The default is okay. Go ahead, yes. We can select whatever IP address we want at this point and fix the IP address, but the default is okay. We will automatically assign IP address to this machine. Next. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. Based on where you are, you can select whatever system, whatever time works for you where you are. Some of the participants for this training are in Geneva, London, Canada, Africa. We are in Atlanta, Georgia. So we are in Eastern Standard Time. This is very important that you remember the root password. The root user is the administrator in a Unix environment. We are going to use the class password. Next. All right. The Unix environment allows us to configure a Unix server for the exact reason we are installing it, so that we do not begin to install packages that are not required. Here we are going to customize a little bit. Select customize now and then go to next. Go to base system. We want to select system tools. There are some packages by default I install, but there is a very important package called Oracle Validated that comes with Oracle Enterprise Linux, that when you install Oracle Validated, it will do a whole lot of things for you so that we won't have to manually do them. Example, it will deploy all the packages required for the installation of Oracle. It will create the DBA group and the OInstall group. It will create the Oracle user. So go ahead and select Oracle Validated, and it will configure the Linux kernel. I want you to also select Systat7. From my experience, I found that package is very important. We will just do that and then close that out. So you should have 16 of 67 packages here. Click on next, and the operating system will begin to configure the packages and check dependencies, and our installation will really begin. This may run for another, give or take, 15 minutes, depending on the speed of your computer and how much memory you've given this server. Well, we will hold it right there and allow it to cook, and then come back to it. But basically, this is what we have done, and I said, if you have a little more memory, you can be more generous, give it a little more. We gave us 4 gig, but the base memory will be like 1.5 if you're using a machine with 4 gig of memory. We have selected the appropriate package, specifically Oracle Validated. If we were running this on CentOS or Fedora or Ubuntu Linux, the Oracle Validated has not been created for those flavors of Linux. So we will have to configure the packages manually by ourselves. And it's all in this lab. It's all there. Because I'm assuming that you are installing this on another flavor of Linux. So that way, I created a complete documentation for it. So we have set the password for root right there. And in a minute, we will disable the firewall and SE Linux, the security system of Linux. In production environment, this will not be disabled. So we're just going to disable them temporarily so that we get the installation out of the way. Once we are able to establish connectivity and everything looks fine, we will enable it and then configure firewall port. All right. We will hold it right there and allow it to cook. Is there any questions so far?